The Minecraft end dimension is pretty empty with the island, void, and nothing for millions upon millions of blocks. That is going to change because for over a year now, I've been building up to this moment where today we're finally going to create the supermassive black hole from my favorite movie, Interstellar. Black holes are in space, and right now I'm in space, and over there is space. You see what I'm thinking? To begin this project, we need to first build all the way out there to where the black hole is going to be. This is about 300 blocks out, which hopefully should be enough. And then we need to pillar all the way to the center of the black hole. That should be good. Next, we need to build a humongous platform up here, because later in the video, we're gonna be collecting hundreds of thousands of blocks, ranging from all sorts of easy items to the more disgusting and difficult ones. Yeah, 41 by 21 blocks wide should be more than enough space. And then just for safety, let's get a quick wall around it. Perfect, that is the platform completed, and now it's time to start building. Where the heck am I even supposed to start? You know, I think it's time to get into the game plan. There are going to be 5 steps to building this, and the first one is going to require me to study black holes, which is why I just booked a plane flight to Los Angeles, California. Okay, this might seem overkill, but I promise you it's going to make sense in a moment. Here we are at the Griffith Observatory. This is the most famous observatory in the entire world, meaning it is one of the best places I can learn about black holes. And in 2 days, I'm collaborating with a YouTuber named Shovel to build the black hole. So I gotta make the most of my time here and learn as much as I can. So let's get right into it.
There are 3 types of confirmed black holes. Stellar mass black holes, then the intermediate black hole, and finally, there is the supermassive black hole, the same type as in Interstellar. These are anywhere from 50,000 solar masses to tens of billions of times as large as our sun.
And that's just the thing. We need to be able to fit it in Minecraft. Because if I wanted to do it to the actual scale, it would be millions of times larger than the entire Minecraft world. And realistically, I would like to fit the entire thing right here next to the spaceship. So I think the best bet is going to be to scale it way down, and 512 blocks wide should be perfect. This is still plenty large enough to make it scientifically accurate and look like Interstellar. Look like Interstellar. Look like Interstellar. So in case you didn't know, Interstellar has a phenomenal reputation. This scene of the black hole, which is called Gargantua, was so mathematically accurate to how a real black hole would look that they literally won an award for it. And that's exactly where I'm stuck. I don't really know how I want this to look because it's so complex and accurate. I think what I need is to hop on a call with my trusty friend Shovel. Yo, what's up, Shovel?
Hey, Wunba.
At this point, you might be wondering who Shovel actually is. Allow me to show you. So yeah, he's pretty much the best of the best when it comes to building, and somehow he said yes to helping me design the black hole. Thanks, man. Anyways, back to it.
Hey, Wunba, how's it going?
You know, I'm alright, aside from like the slight jet lag. Although I do believe I have everything here for us. I did want to ask, like, do you think building something like this is actually going to be possible?
Definitely is, but it's gonna be a little tricky. Let's start slow and plan everything out.
Right off the bat, we got the center of our black hole. In scientific terms, this is called the singularity. We're currently using the singularity as the center point to build our sphere from. At first, we tried a 50 block radius sphere, but that was too small. Then we tried a 90 block radius, and that was too large. So then in a Goldilocks moment, we tried 65 and it was just right. Okay, Shovel, I'm gonna replace the diamonds with the black blocks we chose.
Sure, go ahead.
That's right. After changing the diamonds for a mixture of 70% black concrete, 15% coal blocks, and 15% black wool, we have the event horizon completed. This is the part of a black hole where all light disappears. If you were to cross this point, then you'd have to go faster than the speed of light to escape it again. Shovel, I don't think making the ring around this is going to be possible.
Well, it probably...
No, it's necessary.
Was that an Interstellar quote?
No? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, now that I've quoted my favorite movie, let's get to planning the distance the black hole rings will go out. We decided on 512 blocks earlier. This still seems pretty good. So next we need to get the shape of the accretion disk right. And for those of you wondering, the accretion disk is a hot disk of gas and dust orbiting a black hole. The way we're replicating the accretion disk is by setting up 5 pillars that mimic the final shape of what we want. From there, we select the points and use a command that essentially draws a line in between. Then we can do the same thing and create a curved wall of blocks. With the top band in, we next need to do the bottom. A real black hole would have the top and bottom bands nearly identical, but there's an effect called the Doppler beaming that we see, and depending on the angle you're observing from, the black hole's lower half bends inwards, giving a bow-like appearance. Okay, so you're thinking we create a circle first?
Yep, and then we can just move it over.
Nice. Oh yeah, that looks good.
Could you just start shaping that side in a little bit?
Sure. Shovel, I really can't thank you enough. This looks fabulous.
Of course, man. When am I getting paid? Are you doing like a PayPal thing, Venmo?
And now that we have the shape, it's time to texture the black hole. However, there's an immediate problem, and that's that I want this to glow like Gargantua from Interstellar. A few months ago, a fellow content creator, Chris the Cow, had this same problem when he made a similar black hole. He ended up using light blocks which illuminate everything around them. Unfortunately, light blocks are unobtainable in survival mode. That's right, you gotta keep in mind I'm still making this in my hardcore world. Oh, and yes, I did reach out to Chris about making this project, and he sent me this video back.
I'm Chris DeCow, and I approve this message.
Instead of using the unobtainable light blocks, Shovel suggested that I go with a mixture of these. Hopefully when grouped together, these lights can simulate the same glowing effect. I should also say it's important that from here on out, we build the black hole in the end, as that's where it's going to be in my hardcore world. And as we add in the bands, you can see the lighting is looking spectacular. The area closest to the event horizon is the brightest, and the farther out we go, the more sparse the lighting becomes. It's also important that we break up the patterns by coming into the less detailed spots and adding some touch-ups. Oh, wait, what if we added a light ring from the movie?
Ooh, yeah.
That light ring is actually a real thing, and it's called the photon sphere. It's created by light being bent around the black hole several times until it either gets sucked inside or escapes into the universe. But that's besides the point, because now the black hole is finished. Thank you, Shovel, for your help. Seriously.
Of course, dude. This thing looks so cool. You should make it into a poster or something.
That's exactly what we did. There are some sick posters that just dropped, and they're only going to be available for 2 weeks, so there's a link in the description if you're interested. Anyways, now for the grand reveal of how many blocks this is. Oh my. After seeing that the build was more than 580,000 blocks, I had to take a long break from the project to calm down. Seeing that number was horrible. I'd be signing my life away for the next few months, and that was something I just wasn't ready for. But then, a thought began to grow in my mind. A thought that I had once before. A thought that was exactly what I needed now. I remembered why I started making videos in the first place.
Hello, this is Stampy.
I grew up watching the first generation of Minecrafters. Back then, they were learning, inventing, and finding the limits of the game, and that inspired me to do the same. So I put in the hours, the grind. I always had a final vision in mind, but it was never really about finishing the projects. It was about the experience of getting there. I learned to love the process, finding my limits, and intentionally exceeding them. And that's what stuck with me, that this project was no different. So even though countless others have done it before me, times have changed, and now it's my turn to push the limits. And just like that, step 1 was completed, and now I am ready to get collecting. So it's at this point that I should probably explain some stuff. Basically, the black hole consists of 13 different types of blocks. Most of them I knew I'd be able to get in this video easily, but then there were a couple like the 25,000 frog lights, 30,000 shroom lights, and the 71,000 sea lanterns that I knew we would not have enough time for in this video. So about 2 months ago, I built 3 really overpowered powered farms to get those items. Anyways, back to it. The first thing on the list is approximately 2,544 glowstone blocks. Actually, at the raid farm, we already have all this glowstone dust, so let's take that and we're gonna make a bunch of glowstone just like this. Nah, I'm just kidding. We can use item scroller to do it quickly. I got a little carried away and made, well, 14,000 blocks? You know what they say, it's a good thing to hoard. Those should be the first items checked off. Only 12 to go, and now we need the frog lights. So again, this is one of the farms I made, so all I have to do is AFK to get all the items. I AFK'd overnight, which provided enough verdant frog lights, but for some reason the storage broke midway through and stopped collecting the ochre ones. It's not a huge deal, but just means I'll need to AFK here later. Anyways, that's the second item collected. Now we need 16,518 smooth basalt, and yeah. I'm actually not even surprised that we have all these, because a few videos ago I built a massive quarry, and while it ran, it cleared a whole bunch of geodes, which contain a bunch of this stuff. We're already on to the next block, the 10 shulkers of magma. We got nothing. Well, I guess that means we gotta go old school with it. Imagine having to go and collect blocks. So we got a couple shulkers already, but I actually paused and got some fire res potions, which make this process so much better because I'm not constantly taking damage anymore. Anyways, we got all of the magma we need now. After that, I super quickly gathered all 15 shulkers of deep slate tiles from the quarry storage, then 17 shulker boxes of black wool from the wool farm. I almost didn't even include these ones because all I had to do was basically just put them on the platform. But what's interesting is even though we have 6 of the 13 items collected, because those were the simple ones, I'm actually only 16% done with collecting. And yeah, unfortunately, that now means we have the trickier ones. This is the perfect example, 25,816 blocks of coal. Good grief. And then breaking those down, that means I need 232,344 coal. Yo, are you kidding me, bro? So the quarry did collect a bit here, but this still isn't going to be anything near enough. And now you've made it to the section of the video where I just about lose my sanity by making 3 more extremely OP farms to collect the rest of the items for this project. I decided to begin this section by building an astounding wither skeleton farm designed by Fortune 8 Diamond. It's time to go beyond what a wither skeleton farm can do. With a massive storage upgrade, the 50.4 second hopper clocks are an entirely new category of safety innovations. The aluminium... I can't keep a straight face. Pre-order your wither skeleton farm today by simply subscribing below. Yeah, so this is the farm we're gonna build. That way we can get all the coal blocks and then actually build the black hole. So let's get started. We have our main list of items, but now that one item is getting its own sub list of things we need to collect. What better way to get these than in a 15-second montage? Stone brick walls, spruce trap doors, flower pots. Flower pots? What the heck do I need those for? And now there's just one more item, nether brick blocks. I tried a couple of methods to get these bricks. The first one was crafting a bunch of gold. I then traded with piglins because they have an 8.71% chance to drop nether bricks. However, after wasting like 5 shulkers of gold ingots, I didn't have nearly enough bricks, so I decided to try the next method, mining at the nether fortress. That was so boring, so I went to the next, more explosively interesting method. Basically, my idea was that if I used TNT, I could explode netherrack, then collect it, and then cook it into bricks. Whoa, okay, literally from 5 pieces of TNT, I got like 15 stacks of netherrack. The exploding method was very effective, and before I knew it, I was at the super smelter. To cook all this up, we first gotta drop it in there and then wait. I mean, it is a quick system, but I'm worried for when we need to cook the 220,000 glass later. This is definitely going to need an upgrade. And those should be all the Wither Skeleton farm materials, meaning now we can get building. The first thing for this farm is to make a huge platform up there. Stack up and whoa, oh my, that's a lot of wither oh my, no. Now I believe we should need some moss carpets on the ground, and these are gonna stop the wither skeletons from spawning. Wait, no, I meant to say ghasts from spawning. What? Wait, did a blaze light that? I think it did. Who knew they could do that? So I really like how simple this farm is. The fact that anyone can build it in like 3 to 4 hours is truly remarkable. Next, we need to make the overworld part of this farm. Then just build the storage. Okay, by pressing that button, the farm should now be ready, but there are a few things we need before testing it, and the first of which is a perfectly enchanted smite diamond sword. Fortunately, I have a bunch of villagers here forced to be my servants, and I can just buy all the enchantments from them. Then we need a max level beacon, so when I'm AFKing the farm, we don't die of starvation. And finally, we need about 70 striders in this pit. It seems weird, I know. But somehow the striders prevent skeletons from spawning on the platform below, and this means the iron golems won't be shot to death. How exactly am I supposed to get 70 striders here? I suppose we'll first have to go to the lower part of the nether. I'm thinking we'll need some sort of staircase from down here. And then this should probably stack all the way up there. So we got our staircase, and now it's time to get the striders. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we can just use a lead. Yes! Let's just address the fact that I jumped into the lava to get this strider. You could almost say, my dedication is fire. Come on up, bud. There you go. Okay, time to go up the stairs. I'm actually so terrified he's just gonna jump off the ledge. Yes, oh my gosh, I can rest easy. Now I have to yank him all the way across the nether. And there you go, 1 down, 69 to go.
Nice.
I very quickly got the second strider onto the ceiling and was just about to repeat the process when someone on our Discord call told me this.
Wait, Wumba, you know you can just breed the striders, right?
No way, you're kidding me.
Yeah, I think it's like the warped fungi that breeds them.
You can imagine how excited I was when Mogswamp told me that. He literally saved me hours. And before I knew it, the farm was finished and ready to be tested. So the way we run this is we come up here and then flick that lever. Now let me grab this sword and then it's time to start swinging. This farm works by having the wither skeletons spawn on the platform down below. Then they go through the portals and are pushed into another portal which exits them up top at our killing chamber. At this point, I'm also attacking the armor stand with Sweeping Edge and Looting 3. The skeletons die and their drops are collected. So now that you know how it works, it's time to AFK here for the rest of the night and check back in the morning. Well, it actually turns out that our church had a hike planned for the following day. In case anyone was wondering, we went to this epic place called Enchanted Rock and had a great time just hanging out. Meanwhile, my computer was still AFK. All jokes aside, I was AFK for about 36 hours, and we clearly have way more than enough coal here. Okay, I got a little carried away there, and I just realized that I could have chucked all that coal into the lava. With the crisis averted, I placed all the coal shulkers, some crafting tables, and then began crafting all the coal we needed. Oh man, yes. It feels pretty good checking these off. From there, I AFK'd overnight at the shroomlight farm and then was able to check off the 8th item. After that, I traveled to the gravity block farm, replaced the sand with black concrete, switched the farm on, and began to AFK for the 53,000 required black stained concrete blocks. Black stained, No. After acquiring nearly 70 shulkers of the blocks, I took those to the concrete converter in the industrial district, put them in the storage, and then waited for a few hours until everything was turned into concrete, checking off the 9th item. And for the final easy item, I AFK'd once again at the froglight farm and was able to collect all the remaining ochre froglights, meaning there are just 3 more items and then we're done. But looking at the numbers for the sea lanterns and glass blocks, that overwhelming feeling I had before was coming back. However, I knew if I persevered now, these feelings I had would be moments I'd look back on and be proud of. So despite needing over 350,000 more items, I was not going to let that stop me from building this black hole. Well, well, well. It's a sad time, but a necessary time. We're about to remove the super smelter I've used for over 2 years now. Basically, if we're going to need all that glass, this smelter just isn't going to cut it. So let's remove this thing with a montage. Okay, I should probably run. That was freaking awesome. It's gone now, and now I literally have to finish this or I won't be able to cook anything. So what we gotta do next is start mining out an outline for the new super smelter. I found a smelter designed by Cubic Meter that can cook an entire shulker box of items in literally 10 seconds. This is no joke, the fastest super smelter design that there is. But there's a caveat. It's big, like really big. And that means I'm going to need to mine out this entire area of about 500,000 blocks. It is funny, like every 6 months or so, I get this really weird urge to just hand dig a hole in Minecraft. It's been about that long since we did it last for the map room, so part of me is actually really excited to do it here. I think the strat for now will be to clear the top 2 rows so we can see just how big this room actually is. Well, there it is. This is a big room, but I actually really enjoyed mining that, so let's continue. Pickaxe after pickaxe was used. I persevered. Creepers tried to stop me. My mom said it was dinner time. Nothing could stop my dedication. Except for when the next episode of Survivor Season 44 came out, I did have to stop for that. But regardless, I mined for hours and felt invincible when I finally reached the end of the stone section. Okay, so I have to clear about 25 blocks lower. But the issue is deep slate is really slow to mine. Instead of mining this, we should move on to Plan B.
First, we enter the room and clear 4 trenches by hand around the entire area.
Won't that take a long time?
Yes, but you'll see why it's important, because next we will use a tactic invented by Wunba way back in his parkour spiral video where he placed water around the walls so that it floods the trenches.
Won't that take a long time?
Then we build TNT bombing machines.
Won't that take a long time?
Well, that's not the biggest problem, because we need to be careful of these machines as they are extremely powerful and perilous. One mistake could mean the mission fails.
Won't that take a long
Holy, what the heck? I just logged back into my Minecraft world and I think someone completed the hole for me. Just kidding. That was me. Obviously. But what I do want to do now is actually clean up the place a bit from all that TNT. So let's just start by placing a cobblestone flooring. Nice, there it is. The entire room fully cleared out. But before we build the super smelter, I want to make this place look good. So we're gonna leave the world and start designing something on the bakery creative world. Something I'm learning about building is that it's good to not over detail something. As the super smelter is going to be the main focus of the room, I want to keep the surrounding walls rather simple. Or maybe that's just an excuse, but regardless, I made a wall design of using sea lanterns, prismarine, and warped planks. All of these together give a really nice palette that still matches the rest of the ocean monument base. And once I was finished, I grabbed the materials list, and now here we are ready to get the items. The best part about this is that they're extremely easy to collect because most of these are crafted using Guardian drops, and I've sort of been AFKing here the last couple of days, and now we just gotta craft everything up. First up, we have 6 shulkers of prismarine blocks. Whew, 17 shulkers of sea lanterns. And finally, we need 2 shulkers of warped planks, which we can easily get from the wood chest at the shroomlight farm. And believe it or not, those are all the items we need to decorate the room. So let's just place these down and get to it. The best way to do this quickly will be just layer by layer. And first up, we have these sea lanterns that go on the floor. All right, that was easy enough. I guess now we have the walls. We're quickly speeding past all of this as it was pretty repetitive, but I will say once we got to the roof region, it was a little more challenging due to me first needing to grab some dirt and then place it to create scaffolding. Although once the pathway was in, finishing the ceiling and removing the dirt afterwards was easy enough. Well, here we are. This room was once my old super smelter, and now it's ready for the new and upgraded one. Now what's funny is at this point, I had to start collecting the 40,000 plus items for the super smelter, but in real life, I decided to start streaming this, and turns out the chat wanted me to start with the hard items. Seriously guys? You don't want me being lazy? Actually, you know what? I respect that. Remember that these items are just part of the sub list so we can build the black hole. Hopefully this isn't getting too confusing. Anyways, the stream and I first collected 5 shulker boxes of rails, which is like 10,000 rails in total. Then we needed some white concrete, which I didn't have any, so I grabbed some powder and then converted it at the concrete converter. Then, oh boy, we got to the rough item. 4 shulker boxes of sticky pistons. Now we literally need a sub-items list for the sub-items list for the main items. Somebody send help. Why in the world would I need glow lichen for a super smelter? I'm genuinely curious if someone watching would know why I need this. What purpose could it possibly have? This should be everything we need for the super smelter. Oh my gosh, it actually worked. I'm in the past. What? Are you me? Yes, I'm you from 1 month from now. Prove it. What's your Wi-Fi password? In 3, 2, 1, XF lowercase j hashtag question mark 3.141592653589793238462643383 underscore 32 stinky foot exclamation point. Ugh, you're one of those people with the impossible passwords? Wait. That means I'm one of those people. Anyways, how did you do it? How did you figure out time travel? I would tell you, but I don't have a lot of time. You need to listen. I must warn you about the super smelter. There's a problem with the fueling coming your way. But how did you manage to do it? Like, time travel. Shut up. You need to listen. This is an emergency. Is it painful? How long does it take? Stop. I need to explain. Oh no. No, I have to go now. It's too late.
And so, past Wunba here was left with lots of questions, but also the looming threat of the fueling of the super smelter that his future self was trying to warn him of.
Okay, for real though, we do need a plan for fueling this smelter, because there are going to be 1,728 furnaces, meaning each one of those needs a piece of coal, and if we're running it for potentially hours, that is going to require hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pieces of coal to fuel it. Before anyone says I can just use lava buckets or blaze rods or something, coal and charcoal are the only types of fuel that work in this system because of their timings of cooking exactly 8 things things before running out. So to solve this, every single night I AFK'd at the Wither skeleton farm until I gathered about 500,000 coal, which we will later use. Anyways, back to the building. Okay, so starting out here at the bottom of the room, and now we just gotta follow the blueprint and make sure everything is perfect. Oh, this makes sense. The glow lichen is here to stop the water from flowing. Dang, that's actually really smart. Whew. This is some complex stuff. I think I need to push some hopper minecarts into these blocks. First, we'll have to place some rails like this. Then I can grab some hopper minecarts and put them on the rails, then gently push them down. Nice. Let me repeat that for the others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wir haben es fast geschafft und du hast mir noch nicht abonniert. Yes, that was German, and please don't translate what I said. Next, we gotta place some glass above, and then some slime and a piston so we can push it downwards and lock the minecart in. Perfect. Going to just continue following the blueprint, and I'll let you know when anything interesting happens. Oh yeah, baby, time for the furnaces. Oh, so next I need to place a whole bunch of minecart chests here. Whoa, no, get away. How did you even spawn if the entire room is made of light? After a couple real-life days of building, I placed the final block, checked the blueprint for mistakes, loaded coal into all the chests, crafted a few hopper minecarts, a few thousand hopper minecarts. Yeah, basically this smelter requires a devilish amount of hopper minecarts. It's so many that it's diabolical. It's devious. It's dubious. I don't know if I used any of those words properly, but yeah, it requires a lot of hopper minecarts. So I crafted them up, loaded them into the system, and now it's ready to be tested. But there is one small issue. I don't actually have the sand to cook yet. So we're gonna have to stay here for a few hours until we have about 220 shulkers of sand. I'm not even gonna lie, my heart is racing. I am so excited to run this smelter. Okay, here are all the sand shulkers. I moved them over. Let's take just a few of these and put them in. There it goes. Oh my gosh, that is incredibly satisfying. All the furnaces seem to have lit up. That was awesome. And now everything should be loading into the shulker loaders. No! Oh god, it broke.
That's bad. Turn it off, turn it off. Abort mission.
It looks like I forgot to load shulkers into the system. But now everything should be okay. I'm now about to load 3 entire double chests of shulkers of sand in. There it is. Everything is working perfectly now. I just have to wait. Oh, here come the first shulkers. And before I knew it, I was looking at over 300,000 blocks of glass. Perfect. So there are 3 more items we need, but now we have most of the materials to craft them. The next step is to actually craft them. At first glance, this doesn't look like it's going to be a problem. Just grab the items and craft. But when we're talking 350,000 blocks, doing it that way would easily take several hours. So I may have divulged a little bit, and I built a crafting station. In case you don't know how this thing works, allow me to show you. First, we need to load all these chests up with shulkers of prismarine shards and prismarine crystals. Now we come down here and then flick the lever, open the crafting table, and now hold down my crafting hotkey. As I'm doing this, shulkers of items are getting destroyed and the items drop out. Now the cool thing about this machine is it breaks up the stacks and it sends me the perfect amount so that my inventory fills up and I instantly craft, then drop the items. As you can see, in about 30 seconds, we just crafted 3 entire shulkers of sea lanterns. So allow me to quickly finish this up. There we are, all the sea lanterns collected, officially checking off the 11th item. We just have all the white and black glass left, and I first want to get all the white glass because it'll just be easier. We're gonna need to load it up into the chests again, and then I quickly need to get some white dye, so... Okie doke. Click that. The collection system of literally 48 hoppers was too slow, so after a few minutes, the water stream looked pretty ridiculous.
Wow.
This was easily solved by just manually loading the shulkers up, and once that was done, I put all the white stained glass shulkers in the end, and the 12th item was officially collected. Here we are, the last item, 136 shulker boxes of black stained glass. Now the way we craft this is by putting 17 shulkers of glass into each of these chests. Then the last one needs to be full of 17 shulkers of black dye, which I don't have. This meant that I had to spend the next couple of days AFK at the Wither Rose farm. The years flew by. I sat and waited. As the centuries of waiting passed, I decided to go climbing with Mog Swamp. I applied for a PhD in brain surgery. I got married. I had a family. I started a game of Monopoly, but couldn't quite finish it. And then, and only then, did I have enough Wither Roses to craft all the black stained dye. It's been like 2 days since the last clip because that farm is just so slow. But once we finish crafting up all this dye, we can load it into the mass crafter and get crafty. Holy cow, look at that. Why is this intimidating? Oh my, there it is, the last shulker. Here is all the black stained glass, and now we just need to move these to the platform. And wow. Just like that, all 586,186 items required to build the black hole had been obtained. Now we can move on to the next step of actually preparing the area for the black hole before building. You see, it's not as simple as actually just building. No, because Endermen are spawning and these pesky buggers are quite annoying.
No.
Plus just outright dangerous. So we need a way to get rid of them, and unfortunately, I can't just turn it to peaceful mode. Or can I? So in case you've ever seen my end base here and wondered how Endermen aren't spawning, that's because I actually built a mob switch here about a year ago using zombie villagers. You see, villagers have a very unique property where if you trade with them and then brutally murder them so that they become zombie villagers, they will actually never despawn even if you unload the area. This is really important because if we have 70 of these zombie villagers in a pit, Minecraft will no longer spawn mobs as it thinks we hit the mob cap of 70 already. Basically, this means we have peaceful mode and no Endermen will ever spawn. Now the issue with all of this is that it means I somehow need to get 70 villagers here into this pit. Okay, I have an idea, but this is going to require a bunch of dirt and rails. Now we're going to come over here to the iron farm and actually just start bridging out this way. That should be enough. Now somewhere over here, yes, there it is. Let's just extend this upwards and connect these two spots. So we're going to be making a railway from my iron farm to the first ever stronghold I visited in the world. Then I also need to do the same thing in the end. Cover this in rails, then add redstone to power everything, and finally some water here. So the reason I'm doing all of this is that over here at the iron farm, we have a villager breeder, and the nice thing is that it's only about 500 blocks away from the end portal. My thought is if we can set up a little trading station here, we can push this button, get a villager who will stop there. He stops here, and then we'll get a job as a Fletcher. I can then trade with him and send him off to the stronghold holding cell. Then we repeat, and repeat. Okay, I should probably check on the villagers to make sure they're okay. No! Hello, darkness, my old friend. But after repeating the process several more times, I was now ready to move one to the end. Okay, come up here, and then we need to break that. Goody. Okay, now get on the rail. Yes, go. Nice, there he goes. Here he comes. And break that. And yes, that is 1 down, 69 to go. We now have 26 villagers here, but unfortunately, the villagers have stopped making babies fast enough. That sentence sounded way better in my head. So we'll just have to AFK under this dirt here and wait for some more to spawn in. Been about 3 hours, and there are barely any villagers here. I'm honestly just thinking of making like 3 more of these villager breeders and then running all of them overnight. Thank goodness these things are so simple. All it requires is some dirt, glass, stone, trapdoors, my buddy Jack, stairs, beds, composters, slabs, and finally carrots. Which it's kind of funny, this hardcore world has over 80 plus automatic farms, giving me nearly every item in the game. But for whatever reason, I don't have a carrot farm, so I gotta make this janky machine inside of my storage system. Oh boy. After collecting the villager breeder materials, I quickly built it up and then used the rail system from before to move some villagers in. These guys got their jobs, I cleaned up the area, and added a roof that I could AFK under. However, this was a mistake that nearly cost me my entire hardcore world. When I placed the dirt above my head, this was to prevent phantoms from spawning. I also knew that the iron farm was lit up and my overworld mob switch was on, meaning no mobs could spawn and kill me. Because of these reasons, I thought I was safe to AFK under the dirt roof. However, it seems the villagers didn't like their jobs too much, because at some point in the night, a single baby villager escaped through the trapdoors and landed on the side of the glass, completely missing the containment chamber. This might not seem bad at first, but over the span of several hours, the baby grew up and eventually wandered onto the same platform I was on. As time passed, by chance, the villager started to push me out from underneath the dirt and closer to the edge of the platform. At this point, I woke up randomly in the night and began to think about this very possibility. And literally as I checked the computer, the villager was about to push me off the edge. Had I slept for even 15 minutes longer, it is very likely that I would have died on the world. I don't know if it was fate, pure luck, or some external force that woke me up right then and there, but I am very lucky to be alive. Well, it's the morning after that close call. I'm honestly just blown away that a freaking villager almost killed me. Anyways, now I'm gonna get the rest of these guys into the end. There we are. We have 74 villagers here. I ended up just getting an extra 4 in case something happens to them. But now we need to get a zombie in here and then spread the virus. So, you there, Mr. Zombie? How about we call you Dinnerbone? Yeah, I like that. Okay, buddy, follow me. Oh my gosh, chill! Don't break your neck there. Nice, now come towards me and... No! Oh, never mind. I thought he was gonna fall. Perfect, my turn. And now he's off towards the pit. Now, I did remove the water because I didn't want him dropping in right away. So first, let's actually just cover most of this. And then you get in here. Then drop down. All right, here we go. Block these off and let it begin. Y'all deserve this. You nearly killed me. Well, it does feel pretty good knowing the end dimension is basically peaceful mode. I'm gonna just go ahead and clean everything up. And now we're getting super close to being ready to build. The final thing I want to get are beacons, because if we're going to be placing hundreds of thousands of blocks, that is going to take a very long time. But speed beacons allow you to run 20% faster, which should in the long run save several hours on this project. So let's get some beacons. And then a bunch of emerald blocks. I seriously hope both of these will be enough. Then we're going to go to the end and begin placing beacons everywhere. There's our first one. Even though it's kind of excessive, I decided to get all the beacon effects just for laughs and giggles.
And so, Wunba placed the beacons, granting all the powerful effects. He also made sure to always have an extra elytra in his inventory to ensure he would not tragically fall into the void. And then, after a few hours, It happened that Wunba ran out of beacons, calling for an impromptu wither fight.
Yes, as Morgan Freeman just told you, I'm about to fight some withers, and no. We aren't going to be cheesing these like everyone else and their grandma does. I'm fighting these for real. 15 withers at once on the nether roof. And if I die doing this, that will have to be the biggest L anyone has ever had. So let's not let that happen.
The withers were summoned, and it was not looking good for Wunba. It appears Wunba is utilizing name tags to know which wither to attack. I don't believe it. He's slain the first one. There goes the second. Absolutely remarkable. Wunba has emerged victorious. Good job, Wunba. This moment will be remembered in the history books.
I used the newly collected nether stars. Around the 20% mark, or 120,000 blocks placed, I had an idea that if I was walking on magma and constantly taking damage, it might be worthwhile to get myself some Frostwalker boots, as they provide protection from magma. One thing I did to entertain myself was to focus on the rows of shulkers in the storage. As they ticked down and slowly disappeared, I grew more fascinated on what it would feel like to hit the end of a row. Nothing changed. But what about the next row? Anyways, these sorts of games were the types of things I thought about as I progressed through the build. As I finished the accretion disk, I wanted a small change, so I decided to work on the entire event horizon next. As the final block drew closer, I knew that my time on this project was coming to an end. This project had taken me hundreds of hours. It nearly cost me everything. I had planned every step from the beginning, built the fastest possible farms, got help from my closest friends, traveled 1,500 miles for research. At one point, my hard drive with all the footage on it corrupted and was lost. But it didn't matter what happened or how much effort it took. I remembered the people who inspired me to get started with making content, and I made it my goal that I would do the same for people to come. I want to make it clear that the same dedication can be applied to anything in life. If you put your mind to it, you will be able to reach your goals. And I'm really glad I stuck with this project even when it got tough, as personally, I think it makes a much better story to share with you. There it is. Oh my gosh! It is the interstellar black hole. 586,000 blocks for this project. One final thing, if you made it this far, I wanted to let you know that to celebrate this massive project getting completed, I released a poster on my merch page that's only going to be available for 2 weeks. Also, if you want to download the black hole build or my hardcore world, both are available on my Patreon page. A link is in the description. Thanks for watching.